Hey, so I'm back out in the shop again. We're gonna start, we got all this wood all pulled apart on these pallets, so we're gonna start piecing things together a little bit. So the first thing I gotta do is to clean up a few edges on them. Before I can do that though, I've got to get the blade changed out of my saw. It's an old blade and it's not cutting really well anymore, so I gotta change that out. So we'll get that changed out first, and then I'll show you how we're gonna cut these pieces up a little bit. Make sure we get our teeth going the right direction. And that one will just slide on and tighten this back down. Well, unfortunately tonight I spent all my time chasing down tools trying to get that blade off, so I won't have any time to show you exactly how we're going to cut these up, but we'll get back that tomorrow. It'll actually be okay because tomorrow I'm going to put in a second light, maybe 2 or 3 more lights, so we'll have a little bit of better lighting in here so you can actually see what we're doing. And don't worry, because the time will pass just like that. Boom! Just like that, we're back, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. It's been a couple days, I know. We got some better lights put up. Check those out. We got 5 of those now. Just some LED shop lights. But now we can actually see what we're doing in here, so this will be awesome. I'm going to show you now how we're going to cut these boards to get them ready to start making the lap joints. We're not going to make the lap joints just yet. We got to get these all sized the same, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust our blade and our fence. So these boards are, oh, there you are. Hey, so these boards are just 2x6s, so we're going to put this at about 1.25 inches high, so we got enough space on the top of our blade, and then we'll adjust this fence so that we're taking off just about 1/8 of an inch is all I want to cut off on each side. With all of these boards, they've got this kind of beveled edge on them that you get with just the typical 2x4s. You know, if you buy some 2x4s from the lumber store, that's what you get, is that beveled edge. We want to take some of that beveled edge off because we're going to glue all of these and side to side like that. Let me grab another board and I'll show you. So we're going to glue them side to side like this. We want as much surface area as we can get. Also, we're looking at straightening that edge. If you look at this one, if you can see it there, when I put that together, there's quite a gap in between those two. So we got to make that edge straighter so those two will fit together as if, well, even that one's, let's see if we can find an edge that'll fit straight. We want it tighter than that even. So anyway, we got to get them straightened up on the edges. Normally you would do this with a joiner. I don't own one, so we're going to do it with the table saw. These are short enough boards that I don't need to build a special jig for it. I can just run them up the fence on that table saw and it'll be just fine. We should be able to get them pretty straight that way. So we'll give it a shot, see what we can do. Like I said, I want to take just as little off as I can so that these boards, I'm not wasting a bunch of board. But that's what we're going to try to do. With all of them, we'll do one side first on each one, and then we'll readjust our blade so that they're all the same thickness, and we'll run them all through on the other side with the same thickness. Oh yeah, looking good. It's always a good idea to wear some safety goggles, but especially with these ones where this is used wood, there's been nails in these as well as staples, and so I'm being a little extra careful because I don't want a chunk of metal in my eyeball.
a heartbeat triggered by an unseen tremor in a waning light. The seas inside. I am a watchword waking in a woodshed, weeping till my words are found, right until the ink runs out. Rooted in try, covered in light.
Here's a great example. There's a staple. I thought I pulled them all. I missed one there. And there's one right there. They kind of blend in on some of these. So that's why I'm being careful. Try not to hit any metal, because I don't need that in my eyeball.
I'll be a second and save you to the waist, and later I'll be freaking out. A shiver with a skating down. And there's a wrestling venom in my vessel's crippling everything. I'm waiting till my time runs out. And the harder I fight, the steeper the line. Just see that I've tried. I've tried.
All right, now that we have sent these through one time, we're going to simply flip them around and run them through the saw again with the side we just cut up against the fence. We'll shorten our space there another 1/8 of an inch and then run these through one more time, and we should have 2 flat sides. Now that we've got these boards squared up on the sides, so we got 2 sides that are parallel to each other, we got to make sure that these ends are at 90 degrees with that side. So I got a sled hooked up here. We're going to start just trimming off these ends, just about 1/8 of an inch off the end. Make sure these things are all squared up. Now that I got all these boards cut, so they're square on the ends, they're trimmed on that side, trimmed on the ends, it's time to start actually making our lap joints. So we're going to use a dado to do this. I've set up a dado blade on here. So we got the dado blade set up. You can see all my little chippers out there and the 2 blades. So we're going to do that. This can be done just with a table saw by itself. It just takes more passes. So we're going to run this like that. I don't have a guard for this dado blade to fit in this hole here. So we're going to go without it. Hopefully don't die. Since these boards are roughly 1.5 inches, we're going to lower this down to half of that. So we're going to go 3/4 high. So we're actually going to go just under 3/4, do a few cuts, and then match them up and make sure we got a good distance, and then we can slowly raise it up so we're not wasting a bunch of woods making messes with it. So if we cut them too much off, then I'm going to have to go back and start over. So we're going to cut it hopefully a little too short, and then we'll come back and measure them, see how they fit, and then do it again. And we'll just raise it up a little bit if we have to. Okay, so we made our first cut. We're gonna do that. It's gonna be about 5 inches back, but I just want to make sure that these are gonna line up well. So when I put them on there, I'm about 1/8 of an inch off. So we're gonna raise that blade up just a hair, check it again, and see how that goes. And that's about perfect. So we'll keep it that same height and we'll just run through all of these and just start making cuts on each one till we're ready to start joining them together. So this dado blade leaves some ridges in there. You can see that. So to clean that up, I'm just gonna take me a flat chisel and just go through and clean up a bunch of that. So we'll do that on each piece as we go. It's gonna take a little while to get all these cuts made. I've got all these joints cut, and now we are moving on to making some dowels for them. I'll show you what I've already done so far with these. I've taken just one of those 4x4s and cut it into a 7/8 inch piece like that, and we're going to cut those again the other direction to make a 7/8 inch square. So we're going to start cutting those, and then I'll show you how I make a little dowel out of it. Alright, now that we've cut all these down, they look just like that. It's just a square 7/8 inch. The reason they're 7/8 inch is because that's the size of the drill bit that I'm going to be using to put them in. So I've cut them to match that. Now we're going to cut some corners off of them.
I've got a million emails that I haven't read. Got a brake pad squeaking that I gotta check, but I don't mind it. 'Cause I got her riding on that shotgun side with that take me to the sunrise look inside her eyes. Now we're flying, yeah, we're flying. We got 10 miles of open road, blasting the radio. We got both windows down and no one around. Don't have to take it slow, we're good to go. There's some baggage sitting in the trunk I see, in the rear view mirror looking back at me. No, I don't hide it.
You look at the end of that. So it looks more like a hexagon than a circle, but we did that for a reason. I'll show you in just a minute. The reason for that, I still got these in long lengths. We're going to cut them down a little bit shorter, and then we'll start getting everything put together. Now that we've got all of our pieces cut, it's time to start gluing these joints together. We brought this inside because it's still too cold outside for our glue to set up right. It has to be above 55 degrees, which it is definitely not. The trouble that we're going to have with this is I only have one set of clamps. 2 clamps. So that's going to be 21 days of gluing. So definitely going to need to get some more clamps before we finish this out. But we're going to get to gluing these, and we'll show you how that's done. Now we will just set that aside to dry. So now that I have these all glued up, we are going to put some dowels in them to build a little bit more strength in these joints. So I have gone ahead and already marked where I'm going to place these. I wanted them to be pretty symmetrical because this is going to be the top of the table. It's going to be partially for aesthetics. So I want them measured out. So I've already pre-measured them. And now we're going to drill these holes. I've just got an auger bit that I'm going to use to drill them with, and then we'll put some dowels in there.
Wind me up and watch me choke. He could build me with feathers and break me with smoke. Holds me till I can't breathe, and his eyes tell me things his mouth can't achieve. Me, I feel 1,000 different ways. Still I'd rather act than articulate. I've got cracks on my back and my shoulder and my wing. You see, I'm an angel, but I do bad things. And when you want me, well, I'll be gone. So talk to me another time. See, I don't need your recklessness, because I've got mine. Oh, won't you look for me on a different.
So if you remember, when we talked about those dowels not being completely round, I said there was a reason. And part of the reason is to reduce friction as I put these dowels in. They're slightly, just a hair larger than the holes, and so by making them not perfectly square, it reduces the surface area that's in contact and reduces the friction just slightly. It does make a not perfect contact for the glue, but I'm not too concerned about that, as they are so tight in there that I don't know that the glue does any good anyway. But voila, there you've got it. A doweled half lap. So with that, we're going to wrap this video up. The next step we've got is to get these boards to fit together side by side. We're going to repeat this process 9 times. Put them all side by side, get them to fit well that way, and then we got to glue that up and we'll have the tabletop done. So Next episode with this table will be gluing those together. I'll show you the process of that. Little sneak peek. I ended up buying a jointer. So we'll be using that. I'll show you how we get these sides all straight and ready to glue together. And we'll see you next time.